Fantastic. So we are going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, advanced audience strategies, specifically within search. And when we look at the evolution of search, historically, one of the only ways for us to really understand the intent of the consumer is based on the keyword they're searching. But now with audience capabilities, we are able to leverage so much more insight into our consumer, how they've interacted with our brand previously, so that when they are searching, we can really give them a more personalized, relevant experience. My name is Charlotte Morris. I am the Regional Director of the East Coast, and I have the pleasure to be on the stage today. I did not get the memo on the dark colors. I'm also not wearing Gucci. But I would love to start and just have you guys introduce yourselves.
Yeah, so my name is Tara Sparks. I'm with the Estee Lauder companies. I focus mostly on the performance marketing side of the business, our e-commerce focused efforts. And I'm so pleased to be here talking with you. We're so passionate about this subject of, customer first and using our audiences in a really smart way.
I'm Vicky Homan. I work at Google, and my team focuses on all our search audience products as well as targeting. So we're really trying to understand how we can get past this keyword and really provide marketers like you more opportunities to connect with people based on audience, or the other side of that would be things like automation and kind of getting away from a lot of the manual work. But anything that's to do with targeting goes through us.
So I'd love to start and just understand more about how the Estee Lauder companies view audiences.
Yeah, so we're a portfolio company, and we're a company of brands. And so we know that our customer who is shopping La Mer is very, very different from our customer who's buying MAC. And that customer is also very different than the customer who's buying Clinique, and so on and so forth. And so first and foremost, audiences are a brand specific group for us. And then from there, at a very general level, we think of audiences as consumers we know and consumers that we have a relationship with, versus consumers that we haven't met yet and that we look forward to meeting.
Fantastic. And Vicky, how does Google view audiences?
Yeah, I think Sam really stole a lot of my talking points on this earlier. But we really see audience as the opportunity to connect with the consumer on a much more personal level, give them a very engaging and assistive ad creative based versus something that's a little bit more general. And this is a big change. We used to live in this world where media buying happened by channel. You bought TV, or you bought YouTube, or you bought search. And now all these things are coming together, and audience targeting is going to be a really critical piece of that. Because again, if you're trying to reach consumer A, you want to reach them as many places as possible to get maximum reach. So it's really exciting to hear Sam, say so many of the same points. But we're really trying to get past that point of people really thinking about consumers in terms of a keyword and help them really understand what they need and what they're looking for regardless of the channel.
Perfect. So when we're talking about audiences, we really need to talk about segmentation. So how do you segment your audiences, and how has that evolved since the early days?
Sure. Yeah, so we're so fortunate to have an amazing partnership with our team at iProspect as well as our partners at Google. And we feel like we've done a really good job, especially in brand search, in kind of having an always-on strategy and having an evergreen, it works strategy. But our brands are always looking for more. Our brands want to be smarter. They need more efficiency. And so when Google came out with RLSA a few years ago, our brands were very interested in testing this. And we dipped our toe and we turned it on and saw what happened. And what we saw happen was a lot of efficiency. And that was really, really not surprising, but we were so pleased that the results aligned with our hypothesis. And so when it came time, when Google came out with Customer Match, we kind of skipped the early stages of turning it on, seeing performance, and then bidding against it. And we kind of jumped into phase 2, which was when we started Customer Match, launching with a segmented CRM list. We pre-segmented before we input our list into Google. And what we did was we took our customers' previous behavior and uploaded based on that, because that's how we've seen success in other channels as well. So we targeted based on consumers who are frequent purchasers versus consumers who we haven't seen in a while, who are lapsed. And then of course consumers who are brand new, they've signed up for our emails, they've signed up to be on our CRM list, but they haven't yet made a purchase. And from there, our next step, after we saw, again, efficiency and success, was to roll out some more targeted ad messaging.
So this type of evolution, you started with your really strong paid search program, moving through RLSA, remarketing lists for search ads, and then customer match, which is really leveraging those emails and uploading those directly within Google. Vicky, is that pretty typical when it comes to the evolution of how brands go about audience segmentation and targeting?
Yeah, there is no, unfortunately, what's the one? Can you hear me?
Very good.
We've learned a lot about segmentation because it's very true that it is going to be wildly different based on the type of business that you have. You mentioned the portfolio business. We also work with a lot of finance clients, travel clients, and they all have slightly different objectives, and they have to align segments to those objectives. In general, we do see rough alignment with the marketing funnel, so there will be kind of an awareness element where you'll run a broader set of keywords, but because you're so tightly targeting them with an audience list, you don't see the unnecessary cost and the poor ROI like you would if you were just running across Google. And then that goes down into consideration. And with consideration, this is maybe someone who's visited your website, not made a purchase, and how can you move them along to that final step, which is converters. So in general, a pretty similar segmentation. Some people get a little bit fancier with things like reactivating lapsed customers, or really trying to drive customized messaging for a small group. But in general, most people kind of start with a larger list, understand what's working best for them, and then they continue to segment down from there.
So one of the reasons why we're on the stage today is really to talk more specifically about the current customer match strategy for one of the brands. So Tara, can you elaborate?
Yeah, so all of our brands have really embraced Google Customer Match program as well as other customer-focused marketing and segmentation. But one of our brands has really leaned in on this, and that's Bobbi Brown. They're always our first brand to pilot new things and always looking for what's next, what's happening, what's cool, what can we do, and that Customer Match was no exception to that. So what they did, they were our first brand to launch very targeted ad copy to the different segments of their Customer Match audiences. So we offer a first-time buyer discount for anyone who's coming to our website. So if we know that the consumer has signed up for our emails, she's then eligible for that discount. But if she hasn't made a purchase yet, we need to keep reminding her that as she's searching for Bobbi Brown and looking for Bobbi Brown makeup or any of our brands, that she's going to get a 15% discount on her first purchase. But then similarly, if we know that the consumer who's searching for one of our brand keywords, in this case Bobbi Brown, if she's already made a purchase, we cannot serve her that message because hopefully she's already used her first time discount. So we want to show her something else. And so what we've done is if we know that she's purchased recently or frequently or any in the last, let's say, 6 months, we want to show her what's new, and we want to show her the cool new things that has happened on Bobbi Brown and what she should come and check out on our site. And then lastly, for our lapsed consumers, we need to re-engage her. We need to show her, you haven't been here for a while, maybe it's been 6 or 12 months since your last purchase, come back, we have all these amazing offers, you're going to get a, whatever gift with purchase or whatever we're offering at that time. So we hope to scale this. This is something that was really successful. We saw a lot of efficiency here. And yeah, all of our brands took the learnings and are rolling that out.
Fantastic. I mean, this is an amazing example. You have your new customers that are getting a new offer, going to your custom landing page about that offer specifically. You have your loyal customers, which have interacted with the brand, and getting that what's new messaging, and then you have your lapsed, which is about the offers. So really interesting segmentation. Vicky, do you have anything to add on that one?
It's a wonderful segmentation.
Yeah.
No, really, this is hard. Starting from depends if you've done RLSA, you typically will have some sort of an idea about your best performing segments. But Customer Match did add a whole new element to this. So I imagine some of these brands might have offline data as well. Is that fair? So combining that, it's very challenging, and being able to do that level of segmentation, also that level of creative customization is a real commitment. At Google, we're trying to make it easier because we do believe this is the right strategy. And at the end of the day, this does result in a user getting an ad that's very relevant. And as much as we possibly can, we want to be able to show ads that provide a lot of value and that consumers, they don't even care that they're ads because it's so relevant to them. So,
Right.
Kudos to you.
Well, thank you. And our products are not only available on our website, so it's really important for us when we're serving our ads to the consumer that we're offering her the best possible user experience because we want to make sure she's going to come directly to us and buy.
Fantastic. So can you provide an example of how you've leveraged audience segmentation targeting, but really with that ultimate goal of efficiency?
Yeah, so our online brands are charged with two things. They're charged with scaling revenue, and they're charged with ROI and efficiency. And at times, it can be challenging to hit both. What we found in terms of scale is that our non-RLSA, our non-customer match consumers, that's still 75% of our audience. So while it's great that 25% of our consumers, we have identified them using our first-party data, the scale is still really with the consumer who's new to us. However, we see that about 35% of our conversions are coming through that 25% in RLSA and customer match. So we know that this consumer is looking for our term, is pre-qualified, she's likely to have a higher conversion rate and click-through rate. And so that's why it's so important for us to be in front of her and to make sure that we are leveraging all the tools that Google and other partners have given us because we have all this data and we need to action it.
When it comes to origins, Bobbi Brown, MAC, these are all brands that have different meanings. So
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about how we leverage and what our strategy is with those brands specifically?
Sure. So again, our products are not only available on our website. So in the search space, we have competition from retailers, we have competition from other beauty brands, and that's to be expected. And we've worked with iProspect, and we have our strategy for dealing with our known and expected competition. However, some of our brands have unexpected competition. So for example, Origins is also the name of a television show. And Origin is a video game, and MAC sells, could be the makeup company or the Apple computer. And Bobbi Brown, from a non-paid perspective, whenever there's anything in the news about Whitney Houston's former husband, we see an increase in unqualified impressions and perhaps unqualified traffic to our website. And so we've really leveraged these audiences and layered them on top of our keywords to ensure that if the consumer is in one of our customer match or RLSA audiences and is searching for one of those keywords at a time where we're seeing a lot of competition, we have a feeling and we know, and what we've seen is that she's most likely actually one of our consumers looking for our brands.
Fantastic. So obviously this works.
Yes.
Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it. So can you tell us a little bit more about how you measure success, the results you've seen?
Yeah, so it's for our brands, we have limited bandwidth. We don't always have unlimited budget, unfortunately. Wouldn't that be nice? But we're only able to execute programs that work for us. We test a lot, we learn a lot, and the things that stay on evergreen are the things that are driving scale and are driving success and are driving efficiency. And using our first-party data in our paid search as well as on other platforms is something that's become an always-on evergreen marketing tactic for us because we're seeing such success and it's really making us much smarter marketers. And we're very much looking forward to when we can use some of the new tools that Google's come out with to make this a little bit more automated because our brands are chomping at the bit to scale this and to roll this out and to have the most robust customer match program that they possibly can.
Fantastic.
I'm going to say we are working very hard to make it more automated for those in the room who have been frustrated with customer match data uploads. The API has been greatly improved with a lot of hashing improvements. I believe some people here work with Merkle, who was a third-party data partner, can help with onboarding. So if these sound like familiar challenges to anybody, please reach out to your Google rep or your iProspect rep, and we can make sure to take care of you.
And Merkle is part of the Dense Aegis network, so we are actually working very closely with them and the systems that they have to fully integrate a more automated system for these uploads.
We're looking forward to it.
I believe Jeremy Hull is looking for whitelisters, so go talk to him. When we talk about measurement, can you also talk about how this impacts those kind of higher funnel activities?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so us at the Estee Lauder companies, again, I work mostly with our performance marketing teams, but of course there's a lot of other media being bought, a lot of other programs running that are more focused on awareness, more upper funnel and middle funnel, things like YouTube and other buys. So we're really looking to plan more full funnel. This is something that we're very passionate about and something that we're really dedicated to. And we see using our first-party data as something that can help us connect the dots between our upper funnel, perhaps YouTube buys, leveraging our RLSA and leveraging our customer match programs, and bringing the consumer down the funnel after she's engaged with us at the upper funnel.
Fantastic.
We've actually seen some success there too. I mean, most of our audience products are more performance focused, but we have seen that if you have a very focused audience list, you're able to run on a set of keywords that would just never work. I mentioned this before, but you're able to go much broader with keywords, which tend to have a lot higher impression volume. So I encourage folks to kind of experiment based on where they are most focused, and there's different strategies you can utilize for each phase of the marketing funnel.
Yeah, for our non-brand search campaigns, I think that is, once we're able to implement the if ad copy and make this a little bit more user-friendly for our teams that aren't always working with our search teams, that we want to implement this for non-brand search as well and hope to see similar efficiencies there.
So in addition to implementing it for non-brand, what's next? Where do you go from here when it comes to advanced audience targeting and segmentation?
Yeah, so it's definitely that targeted ad copy. Yeah. Our brands are so anxious to launch this, and because of the success that we've seen in the limited capability, or in what we've done so far, our brands are really hoping to roll this out, across the board. And so scaling our RLSA and customer match programs with the targeted ad copy is definitely top of mind for us. And then also the full funnel piece of connecting upper funnel with the lower funnel using our first party data for sure.
I know we're working on leveraging RLSA within YouTube as well.
Yes, our brands invest very heavily in YouTube, and we have a lot of really cool campaigns live there. So definitely want to connect the dots using RLSA.
So I know you touched on it just moments ago, but can you tell us a little bit more about these if statements and the automation behind that?
Yeah, for sure. So what we'll be doing is Google, with their new capabilities, is going to help us serve the consumer if she's in our customer match list or RLSA, we'll serve for a more targeted piece of ad copy and landing page, a better user experience because we already know her and we know that she's more likely to come and purchase on our website.
So these if statements are actually really quite powerful. They're the ability to segment out different ad copy based on what the audience grouping or segmentation actually is, without having to create new ad copy, without having to create new ad groups or new campaigns. So it's such a powerful way to really get the automation and to scale this type of messaging and targeting capability.
Yeah, right now it's been a little challenging just because it is such a manual process, so that has limited us to an extent. So for example, some of our brands have implemented it on their top keywords, which is great. We know that that's where the bulk of our sales and traffic is coming from, but we really want to make this an always on and roll this out to our whole accounts.
Absolutely. So Vicky, can you talk to us a little bit more about what's next for Google? Where is this going, with audience segmentation targeting?
Yeah, absolutely. A big trend that we're seeing right now is the desire to not only use first-party data, but also to combine that with Google unique insights. We have the ability to really understand user behavior across all of our properties and add that as a layer, if you will, to some of this first-party data list. So an example here is if you're a financial organization, you might have a customer list, but you don't want to necessarily give them all the same message depending on what your objective is, what you're trying to sell. So you could use something like demographic targeting to reach older users about a retirement plan, or maybe for younger users or 30s, 40s, maybe it's about mortgages. So we're really committed to continuing to develop those Google unique insights that we layered on that first party data. And the idea is that we just want to help get as much reach as possible. That is always a challenge on search because the search term is required. But we have found that by combining these different audience lists, we can really provide great results. And not to reveal too much about the roadmap, but we are thinking about other unique ways to allow combining of lists to increase efficiencies. So something to look out for. Another big area is making it easier to take your audience strategy on, say, search and extend it to display and YouTube, or any combination of those paths. Right now, we have amazing audience solutions that are all pretty siloed. Again, to earlier comments made, we're very aware of that challenge, and we want to do everything we can to not only improve these products by using more signals to inform how they're built, but also simplify the buying flow so that when you're in AdWords, you're not having to go to 5 different campaigns to set things up. We want to make this very, very easy and make it just a very seamless experience to make sure that you are reaching that audience no matter where they are across the Google property.
So what are kind of the key takeaways or the tips that you would give to the audience today when it comes to how to really get this off the ground and how to push this forward?
Yeah, so we have a number of different brands under our portfolio and a number, brands of varying sizes and of various budgets. And we saw success with RLSA and customer match with every single brand. So I would say get started ASAP, but don't just start by uploading your whole list. Take a step back, figure out what is important to you, what segmentation is working across other channels, or email, Facebook, wherever you already are segmenting the lists, and see what you can repurpose, and get started that way. And then from there, test and learn.
I would just add one piece to that, because search is a little unique, and it's totally fine to start with a 0% bid modifier. But as you start to see performance data, that's something that really should be evaluated. You are seeing much higher ROI for some lists. Increasing your bid is going to get you meaningfully more traffic, and it should be at the same CPA. Again, but wait till you see some data. We always encourage people to start with a 0% bid modifier because there's literally no risk there. But if you really want to get the most out of these lists, at some point you're probably going to want to think about upping the bids.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.